I'm here to tell you today about a program called Banaa, which is named for an Arabic word that means to build, to found, or create. And the idea of Banaa is to give some of that power, some of those tools that I just mentioned, that influence that we have as citizens of the United States, to people who've actually survived the atrocities that have gone on in Darfur and South Sudan. And this could be a really, really powerful idea. And the way we go about this in Banaa is by temporarily bringing some students who we've identified as committed to peace in their homeland and talented and able to attend university over to the United States temporarily to attend excellent universities on full four-year scholarships. They network with all different NGOs and think tanks, maybe even government and international practitioners, and they live together. These are students from all over Sudan, all different tribes in Sudan, all different ethnic groups, living together over the summers, doing peace studies together, and forming what will eventually become a bulwark against future Darfurs, a safeguard against future atrocities happening in Sudan. Because there's a group of people from the entire country who've studied together, who've lived together, and have honed their skills at sustainable development and conflict resolution and peacemaking together in the United States while building connections with the top people in their field all over the world. So it's a really, really powerful idea, to say the least. And just to give you some of the specifics before I go specifically into how you, each one of you here today, can help make this happen, I'll just give you a little bit more of a background on how this actually works. So the idea of Banaa is we send out applications to all different UN and NGO practitioners doing development work, also community organizers in Sudan, people who are in positions working on humanitarian issues, and they distribute the application, and they find people who have already proven themselves, people who are from Sudan who have already proven themselves as focused on development and conflict resolution issues. And then they apply to schools in the United States. And GW, just down the street, has already offered a full four-year scholarship, including room and board, all their food, housing, everything, to one of these students. Mills College, affiliated with UC Berkeley, the following year has made the same commitment. And we're negotiating with Tufts University outside Boston for the same thing now. And the idea is, as I mentioned, they will study not just the normal curriculum, but they will study a specialized curriculum, issues like water management, issues like public health, and addressing educational disparities in Sudan, so that they could return once they're done with their undergraduate degree and get to work doing just what is needed in order to not only pursue sustainable development in Sudan, but to actually address the grievances of the people who are fighting in Sudan. That means that people are upset about they're not having access to revenues from oil, or they're not having access to national education programs. That means that these students who are from Sudan, coming over studying in the United States and returning, will be returning in order to specifically use their excellent skills, which they gained at U.S. universities, to make that happen, to improve the situation for education, or water management, or public health in Sudan. So undercut the very reasons why war would happen in the first place, and to directly address the root causes of war in the first place. So to help make this happen, we're relying in part on a lot of the Sudanese diaspora. A lot of people who've come from Sudan to live in the United States already are going to be supporting these scholars as they make that difficult transition. So they'll have kind of a safety security blanket once they move here, people who more readily speak their native language and all that. But as I mentioned, we've already, for the pilot program next year at GW, figured out all the logistics as to how we could take care of admissions for kids who wouldn't have taken SATs, for students who wouldn't be coming from regular high schools, because in many cases they live in refugee camps. And Jeff, a buddy of mine, my roommate, who's in the back of the room now, we've been receiving tons of these applications already. They're coming to our apartment at this point. And we have over 70 right now. And I've got to say that this is one of the single most things that gives me hope out of this extremely dire situation that we've been hearing about all morning. Because some of these applications that we've been receiving from students in refugee camps, either in Uganda and Kenya, people from Sudan, or internally displaced persons camps in South Sudan, are from people who've said that even though they've lost their parents and brothers and sisters to bloodshed or malnourishment, have decided that they want to spend their entire lives giving, and that they want to come and learn as much as they possibly can to maximize their effect on preventing war in the future. So, given that we have 70 of these applications just in the first year, even before we've really extensively advertised this opportunity in Sudan, and there's only one spot next year at GW, I have a challenge for you guys who are out here today. How many of you are going to be seniors? How many of you are seniors now? Wow. That's huge. Because my challenge to you guys to just raise your hand, and those of you who are juniors, and of course those of you also who are sophomores and freshmen a few years later, is to return to your campuses or go to your college campuses for the first time and read our website. It's banaa.org, BANAA.org. Read about our program and become an expert in this. You could call me anytime. You could call Jeff, Zach, who's also sitting in the back, and we will brief you on every aspect of this. And when you get to your college campus, what you could do is create a sign-on letter and get all the different clubs, leaders of all the clubs, all the student organizations to sign on and say, we want to bring a charismatic, talented future Sudanese peacemaker to our campus to study sustainable development and conflict resolution. And that way, we could get the presidents of all the colleges, all these great schools that you're going to attend next year, to sign on and become Banaa schools and accept Banaa scholars from Sudan. And if we are all able to do that, then in 20 years, we're going to have a situation in which we have 500 or more people all over Sudan from all different ethnic groups working together, developing water resources, developing schools and building hospitals, but most importantly, working together to negotiate against future wars so that another Darfur does not happen. And this is your power right now. So that's my challenge to you guys.